Hello and welcome back to the channel, guys. And today we are doing some rehouses. As you can see behind Lucy there's a load of pots.
Baby!
There's a load of pots here, but what we're doing, just take the lid off.
Are they going to run out?
It doesn't matter if they do.
I know. Here's lots of babies.
Right, we have a lot of babies. Well, I don't know how many's in there, but this is Ephebopus Uatuman, the emerald skeleton. So I've done 50 pots at the minute, but Lucy reckons we'll need more. By looking at this, I don't see there's that many. So I reckon around 50, but I don't know. It's
You
a bit
did say that
deceiving.
before though and wasn't.
Yeah, so if you want to crack on, babe, start rehousing, because this is Lucy's thing. So we've done these little pots, and the way I've done it is just a lower air hole, and Lucy's done a little starter burrow. Then we've also got higher air holes at the top, so nothing else in there, quite simple, straightforward. And then on the lids, just done circle, well, just drilled holes all the way around and in the center. So that's going to be perfect. So nothing too much for these, because it's just going to go in, burrow, never see it.
Here, you can see their bright green bums. They're bright green.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
How
Let me
cool
just
is
zoom in and
that?
see if I can get a closer
Like they've got
look.
lime green bottoms. Look at that. They're so cool.
Before we start predating, yeah, it's green and yellow, it's coming up.
They got pretty butts. That looks lush.
Right, so
These are
no idea how many that is, so we'll say at the end.
I reckon 70.
Right, go on then.
Right, yeah, I know. I've got to try and get them up now.
Remember, the first couple would take you a bit longer, but last time you got in a rhythm and you just started doing
Yes.
it. Like, put it in, put it up here, I'll do the lids.
Oh. Oh, it's gone right down straight away.
Yeah, they will do. So in they go, and they are so tiny, but you can see that we've given them loads of space, so they'll be able to stay in here for a good few months. The reason for that is, instead of doing tiny sling pots, is these will be going onto the website for Magical Mini Bees. So we put them in here so we don't have to stress them out and rehouse them too often, and they can grow in here a little bit more before we get ready to sell them.
They can get settled then, can't they, without
Yeah.
needing to be moved all the time.
With us, what we're doing is we're not going to be selling any slings on our site that haven't been fed. So I'm not doing none of this 1 centimetre rubbish.
Nope.
I'm not sending any sling out at 1 centimetre. So all our slings will be fed. And so if they fed, you know, they'll be good to travel, and they're all going to be...
Just hopefully a bit stronger and a bit more established.
That's it.
So
All of them have literally gone straight down in there and disappeared, so that is really good. Sorry about the noise, we've got builders outside.
Yeah, you be quiet, don't you know we're filming? Rude.
But there's, like I said before, I'm not naming any sites, but you all know which ones, and they come at 1 centimetre, and I've even seen some that are 0.5, and you could tell they've just molted out into slings and then they're shipped out, which is just shocking. I'm not sending any of those, Lucy and I, at 1 centimetre. We will if we fed them, and they're still at 1 centimetre and they've fed, so we know that they're all doing really, really well. But other than that, you probably won't see anything at 1 centimetre, and you probably won't see anything less. We've got dwarf species which are babies at the minute, and we haven't even attempted to sell them to anybody. We've got quite a lot, and they've been feeding loads, haven't they, for the past couple of months. And as you know, with dwarf species, they are nice when they get bigger, but when you have them as babies and they're delivered, it's a little bit depressing when you see them. Oh. Well, like I said, with the dwarf species, when you get them small, they're like normally 0.5 centimetres, even smaller. And some of them can take a year gone just to get some decent size so you can have a look at them. So with some of the dwarf ones we've got, we're not even sending them out yet. We've had them for 6 months from the sack, and they're doing really, really well. And they're getting bigger, and they're almost getting their colours now, aren't they?
Yeah.
And once you get them from babies and they've got to eat like this sort of size, is better, they'll be able to take some little curly flies or fruit flies or something along that line, or really, really tiny crickets. I tend to not use the crickets for certain species because the crickets are quite hard, they can kill the spider, but some basic fruit flies would do good for these. But dwarf species, they will take the smallest of the smallest, Bean weevils, we've done that. Fruit flies as well, but you want to get them on a good protein source as quick as you can. Once they've took that, then they get good size, but you also don't want to rush it, so you've got to balance it out. But we've just basically had our dwarf species, we're not saying which ones at the minute, but we've had them feeding on tiny, even if it means we've got to break a prey item apart and put it in there. Hand feed it, but they've only just started taking crickets, haven't they? Like small size crickets, and then when they do, they get plump and they don't eat for what, a couple of weeks, which is good.
These ones do not want to come out easy. They want to stay down, not come up.
No, that one's got stuff stuck to it as well, but we'll leave that, see if it comes off.
Quite a few of them still do.
Look at that. Thumbnail. Oh, it looks weird on the camera, they've done it all the legs. It just looks like there's millions of them.
That looks like something you see on David Attenborough or something, where it's like, if you look close, you see more.
That's a thumbnail.
That's beautiful. These aren't very quick and easy.
Right, so I'm going to give Lucy a hand now, and then we're going to come back in a bit and see how many little babies running around the thing. Freedom!
This one's got quite high, look. Go on, little fella.
Right, so... Right, so we've got 47 done up at the minute, so we don't know how many more is going in there, but we're at 47.
All done!
Okay, so Lucy's done just cleaning up, and
babies.
Here are all the babies. You can see them fitted in here. If you notice, on top I've put EU on all of them, just so we know, because we've got so many other different slings, sacks. It's just easier if we initial it, so I know that's Ephebopus Uatuman. And on this one here, we've got two that are put as vital because they've got molt stuck to them in such a way that we need to keep an eye on them. So what we've done is not pulled the molts off because they're too small. We've just moistened the molts so they can actually just pull it away once they've relaxed. Worst case scenario, they pull off a leg, so that's fine. So we just put Vite on it so we know, because imagine trying to find them in all of this. But yeah.
Not bad though, is it?
No, so there's exactly 80. So I thought there'd be around about 50, but Lucy again is right, so there's 80 on that, and she numbered it perfect, did the enclosures, and she did 80, and it was exactly 80. So no bad ones in that sack at all. For a bit of an update on... we had another sack with the Dichromatus, didn't we? Orphanaceous species Dichromatus. Babies all turned out okay. 10 to 20% of the sack was bad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then...
mould, it just... What, they looked fine, and then the next day, just mould.
And yeah, that sack went, so it does happen. But all of these have been brilliant. Some of the other sacks we got, they're absolutely brilliant. The mums have done really well. Another one we lost was Cambridgey. And that's because the mum was an idiot.
She didn't do
she didn't do well. The first day she held onto the sack. Second morning I come out, she just left it in a water dish. She just plonked it in there. So we removed it, and all the babies were soaked. They were drowned. So some do it, some don't. But love these little ones with the colours. So thanks very much for watching, guys.
Green bums? What? Bright
they have.
Bums? Bright
greeny yellow bum,
bums.
and that sort of gold.
Yeah,
but yeah, so Lucy did all those with the babies. It'd be interesting to see. She likes doing these, but when we get onto the bigger ones like the Sturmies and Blondies and stuff like that, so we want to get on the big ones because we've got Nigri colour as well, which we're doing at the minute, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we've got quite a few others, but these are all going to be looked after and gone on the site. Yeah. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and see you on the next one.